The question, what is the future of intelligence, is not about what machines will do better than us. It's about how we will think, learn, and evolve in a world where intelligence is no longer confined to the human mind. For most of history, intelligence was about reasoning, memory, and problem solving, the things our brains did best. But now, those very functions are being augmented, extended, and in some cases, outperformed by machines. The real question is not about competition, it's about collaboration. How do we adapt to an age where intelligence itself becomes a network capability? Shared between humans, algorithms, and the vast digital ecosystems that connect them, the definition of intelligence is evolving in ways that challenge everything we once believed about the human mind. For centuries, intelligence was understood as a measure of human ability, our capacity to reason, to imagine, to solve problems, and to adapt. But in today's world, that definition feels almost obsolete. The boundary between human and machine intelligence is dissolving. And what we are beginning to witness is not the replacement of one by the other, but the emergence of something entirely new, a hybrid form of intelligence that combines human creativity with machine computation. We are moving into an age where intelligence will no longer be limited to the biological brain. It will exist across networks, sensors, and systems that learn and think in ways fundamentally different from us. Think about how we once measured intelligence through tests, grades, and logic puzzles that captured only a fragment of human potential. That old framework is breaking down. Intelligence today can be embedded in an algorithm that learns to recognize speech, in a vehicle that navigates autonomously, or in a building that manages its own energy consumption. It can live in systems that predict market behavior, or in networks that identify diseases before symptoms even appear. We used to think of intelligence as something we possessed, something internal and personal. Now, it's something we can design, connect, and share. The center of intelligence is shifting away from individuals and moving towards systems. Ecosystems of learning that combine the best of human insight with the precision of machine logic. This transformation also forces us to confront an uncomfortable truth. Much of what we considered uniquely human is now being replicated by technology. Machines can already analyze data faster than any analyst, compose music that evokes emotion, or write text that mimics human tone. Yet this isn't the end of human intelligence. It's the beginning of a deeper collaboration. What machines lack, context, purpose, empathy, and imagination, are the very qualities that define us. The future will not belong to those who compete against machines, but to those who learn how to think alongside them. The partnership between human intuition and artificial computation will redefine what it means to be intelligent. In this hybrid age, the most powerful minds will not be the ones that know the most, but the ones that can connect the most across disciplines, technologies, and ideas. Intelligence will become more about adaptability than accumulation, more about curiosity than certainty. To thrive, we will need to cultivate a mindset that embraces ambiguity, that learns continuously, and that sees technology not as a threat, but as an extension of our collective mind. The future of intelligence is no longer a single spark inside the human brain. It's a constellation of interconnected insights shared across people and machines. And as that constellation grows, so too will our understanding of what it truly means to think. Data has become the new language of thought, reshaping the way we understand intelligence itself. Every click, movement, word, and choice we make creates a trail of information. And that information has become the foundation of how we interpret the world. In the past, human intelligence relied on memory, observation, and experience. Today, data extends all three. It doesn't just describe our behavior, it predicts it. It doesn't just record our past, it shapes our future. Data is no longer a byproduct of our actions. It is the raw material of modern intelligence, the language through which both humans and machines now think. Consider how decisions were once made. Leaders relied on intuition, scholars on research, and societies on tradition. But now, decisions are driven by patterns that emerge from billions of data points, patterns too complex for any single mind to perceive. This has changed the very nature of insight. Where human thought was once limited by personal perspective, data offers a panoramic view of behavior, risk, and opportunity. It reveals hidden connections between seemingly unrelated events. In this sense, data is more than information. It is intelligence in motion. It learns, evolves, and refines itself with every new input. But what makes this transformation profound is not just the rise of data-driven systems. It's the way data is beginning to shape human cognition. We are learning to think in data like ways to recognize patterns, to quantify intuition, and to make sense of complexity through analytics. Data is changing not only how machines operate, but how humans reason. In the digital era, the ability to interpret, question, and apply data is becoming a core form of literacy, one as vital as reading or writing once was. Intelligence in this age is measured not by how much we know, but by how well we can translate between the human world of meaning and the machine world of data. Yet there's a paradox here. The more data we generate, the less we seem to understand its implications. We are surrounded by oceans of information, but insight remains rare. The danger lies not in data abundance, but in data blindness, believing that numbers alone tell the whole story. True intelligence will come from balance, combining the precision of data with the depth of human understanding. Data can show us correlations, but only humans can uncover causation. Data can reveal what is happening, but only context can explain why. The future belongs to those who can turn raw data into living wisdom. In a world where machines can collect and compute endlessly, the human role will be to interpret, to ask better questions, and to challenge what the numbers seem to say. The next generation of thinkers will not just analyze data, they will converse with it, shaping it, guiding it, and using it to illuminate what cannot be automated meaning. Data, in this sense, is not replacing thought, it is expanding it. It is teaching us a new way to see the world, one where intelligence flows not from within, but from the network that connects us all. Artificial intelligence will not replace human intelligence, it will redefine it. For decades, the dominant narrative has been one of competition, machines against humans, automation against employment, algorithms against intuition. But the truth is far more complex and far more hopeful. What's happening is not a battle for supremacy, but a transformation of perspective. AI is not here to outthink us. It's here to reshape how we think. It's forcing us to question what intelligence really means, and in doing so, it's expanding the boundaries of human capability. The future of intelligence is not about substitution, it's about evolution. When we talk about AI, we often imagine systems that replicate human abilities. Machines that can see, hear, speak, or even create. But the real power of AI lies not in imitation, but in amplification. These systems are designed to process data at scales and speeds we could never achieve, revealing patterns and insights hidden beneath the surface of human perception. They can analyze millions of variables in seconds, simulate outcomes before decisions are made, and adapt continuously as new information arrives. Yet despite their immense power, AI systems lack one crucial element: awareness. They can calculate meaning, but they cannot feel it. They can predict behavior, but they cannot experience it. That is where humans remain irreplaceable. What AI is truly doing is changing the role of human intelligence. It's shifting us away from being information processors and toward becoming meaning makers. Instead of competing with machines on their terms, efficiency, precision, repetition, we are being called to lean into what makes us distinctly human: our creativity, empathy, ethics, and imagination. These are not soft skills. They are the foundation of future intelligence. Because as machines grow smarter, the value of human insight grows even greater. The ability to frame the right question, to see context where data sees only numbers, and to make moral judgments in complex systems. These will define leadership and intelligence in the decades ahead. We must also recognize that AI is not a tool, it is a mirror. It reflects back the biases, assumptions, and values we embed within it. In this sense, the development of AI is as much a moral project as it is a technological one. As we design intelligent systems, we are also designing the future shape of human thought. Every algorithm we build becomes an extension of our collective intelligence, an amplification of both our strengths and our flaws. The challenge is to ensure that what we build reflects the best of who we are, not the worst. In the end, AI will not replace human intelligence because it is part of its evolution. Just as the invention of writing expanded memory beyond the brain and the computer expanded logic beyond the mind, AI is expanding intelligence beyond biology itself. We are entering a new era where human and machine intelligence form a symbiotic relationship, each enhancing learning and evolving through the other. The question is no longer whether AI will replace us, but how it will change what it means to be us. You said, key point known DAO 4 expended in 500 words without head emotional and ethical intelligence will become the most valuable human assets in a world increasingly driven by machines. As artificial intelligence continues to evolve, it is becoming clear that what truly defines humanity cannot be replicated by algorithms. Machines can process information, recognize faces, and even mimic empathy through programmed responses. But they cannot feel. They lack the ability to experience compassion, to understand suffering, or to make moral judgments rooted in conscience. As automation takes over the predictable and analytical aspects of work, the qualities that make us human, our capacity for empathy, ethics, and emotional understanding will rise in value. These forms of intelligence will not only distinguish us from machines, but also guide how we use them. In the age of data and automation, emotional intelligence will be the bridge between technological possibility and human purpose. It's the ability to read emotions, manage conflict, and inspire others that turns information into connection. Leadership in the future will not depend on who has the most data, but on who can interpret that data with empathy and communicate it with understanding. In a world overflowing with algorithms, the leaders who thrive will be those who can humanize technology, who can translate complex systems into meaningful human stories. Emotional intelligence allows us to navigate ambiguity, to comfort fear, and to build trust in an era where trust is increasingly fragile. Alongside emotional awareness, ethical intelligence will become equally vital as AI systems grow in influence, making decisions in healthcare, justice, finance, and governance. The question is no longer whether machines can make choices, but whether they should. The ethical dimension of intelligence involves judgment, responsibility, and moral reasoning, qualities no algorithm can fully replicate. The future will require humans to act as moral anchors in a sea of automated decisions. We will need to ask, how do we design systems that align with human values? How do we ensure fairness when data reflects societal bias? How do we balance progress with accountability? These are not technical questions, they are ethical ones, and they demand a depth of human wisdom that technology alone cannot provide. The future of intelligence, therefore, depends not just on smarter machines, but on wiser humans. Emotional and ethical intelligence will shape how we build, manage, and interpret artificial systems. They will determine whether technology empowers or enslaves, unites or divides, heals or harms. In a sense, these forms of intelligence are the moral compass of our digital age. Without them, even the most advanced AI risks becoming a cold instrument of efficiency, disconnected from humanity's deeper values. Ultimately, the true test of intelligence in the years ahead will not be measured by computational speed or data capacity, but by our ability to combine logic with empathy and power with conscience. The future belongs to those who can think with both their minds and their hearts, to those who understand that intelligence without compassion is directionless, and technology without ethics is dangerous. In a world of intelligent machines, emotional and ethical intelligence will be the most human form of power. Organizations of the future will no longer function as rigid hierarchies, but as intelligent systems, adaptive, self-learning, and continuously evolving. The traditional corporate structure, built on control, repetition, and linear decision-making, was designed for a slower world. But in the era of machine learning and real-time data, those systems are becoming obsolete. The future organization will think more like an organism than a machine. It will sense, respond, and adapt to changes instantly, guided not by top-down authority, but by networks of intelligence that flow through every layer of the enterprise. The defining question for leaders will no longer be, what decisions should I make? But how do I design a system that learns to make better decisions on its own? In this new model, information will no longer move upward for approval, it will move outward for action. Algorithms and analytics will handle operational complexity, freeing humans to focus on creativity, innovation, and strategic insight. Machines will take care of optimization. People will take care of imagination. The boundary between departments' roles and even industries will blur as organizations become more fluid. Data will connect everything. employees, customers, partners, and products into one living ecosystem of intelligence. Decisions will no longer be based on hierarchy, but on relevance. The right insight reaching the right person at the right time. However, the real transformation is cultural, not just technological. To become intelligent systems, organizations must learn to think differently. They must embrace curiosity over certainty, experimentation over control, and adaptability over stability. This requires a new kind of leadership, one that values learning as much as performance and transparency as much as authority. The leaders of intelligent organizations will be less like commanders and more like architects of systems that enable collaboration and discovery. They will design environments where both humans and machines can learn together, where failure becomes data and data becomes wisdom. At the same time, intelligent organizations must remember that technology alone does not make them smart. People do. Data and AI can accelerate learning, but they cannot define purpose. The future company will be defined by its ability to align human values with machine efficiency. It will succeed not just because it can process more information, but because it can interpret that information through a shared sense of mission. In this sense, intelligence becomes not just a function of technology, but a reflection of culture. Ultimately, the organizations that thrive in the next decade will be those that operate as adaptive systems, learning from every customer interaction, every failure, and every success. They will evolve continuously, guided by both data and empathy. The future of work will not be about humans serving systems, but systems serving humans. When technology and people learn together, organizations will become more than efficient. They will become intelligent. And in that transformation lies the real future of progress. Enterprises that think, learn, and grow as living networks of collective intelligence. The next evolution of intelligence will be collective, connected, and continuous. For centuries, intelligence was an individual pursuit, a personal achievement measured through tests, degrees, or titles. But that idea no longer fits the world we're building. In the digital era, intelligence is emerging as a networked phenomenon, distributed across people, machines, and systems that share information in real time. The future of intelligence will not belong to the isolated genius or the powerful institution. It will belong to the collective mind. This is a world where ideas evolve collaboratively, where insight flows through connections, and where learning never stops. We are already witnessing this shift. From global research communities solving complex diseases to open source developers creating software that powers entire industries. Intelligence is becoming less about ownership and more about participation. Knowledge now moves faster than any one person or organization can control. It is shaped by collaboration across cultures, disciplines, and even technologies. In this environment, the most intelligent systems are not those that know the most, but those that connect the best. Intelligence in the future will be measured by our ability to collaborate across boundaries, between human and machine, between science and art, between nations and ideas. Connectivity is the foundation of this new intelligence. Each device, sensor, and algorithm adds another layer to the global brain, a constantly learning network where data and experience are shared instantaneously. Every interaction feeds insight back into the system, creating a loop of perpetual improvement. This continuous feedback cycle means that intelligence will no longer be static. It will evolve moment by moment, adapting as new information emerges. For humans, this demands a new mindset, one that values curiosity over certainty and embraces change as a natural state of growth. The future of intelligence is not about having the right answers. It's about asking the right questions in an ever-changing landscape. But this collective and continuous intelligence also carries a profound responsibility. As we connect more deeply through data systems and algorithms, we must ensure that these connections amplify our shared humanity rather than dilute it. The danger is that in chasing collective knowledge, we lose individual wisdom. The challenge is to design networks that respect diversity of thought while harnessing the power of unity. True collective intelligence thrives not on uniformity, but on difference. It grows when unique minds, perspectives, and cultures interact. In this emerging world, learning will never end. Every experience, every transaction, every decision will contribute to a living network of insight. Humanity itself will become a learning system, guided by the flow of information and the depth of understanding we bring to it. The future of intelligence will not be something we possess. It will be something we participate in. It will be an ecosystem, ever evolving, ever learning, and profoundly interconnected. The next stage of intelligence will not simply be smarter. It will be wiser, more inclusive, and endlessly alive.